G'day mates, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing some VOD reviews on Misfits player Clix from his solo week 9 qualifiers on NA East. As you can see here, he got 79 points, he got 11 points higher than the nearest person qualifying, Clarity G, and this means he is now qualified 5 times to the Fortnite World Cup coming into this last week. Absolutely insane player. I haven't watched his gameplay before outside of some replays, some clips on YouTube channels. I really want to check out his gameplay more in depth, see what we can learn from it. We know that he's known as the zero ping wall taker. We'll see how that plays into his game style and try and see what we can learn from it. His overall match preview is looking pretty good. The two that we're going to be checking out today is going to be his 2 9-kill wins. I want to get a decent look. I don't want to just do one video. I don't want to do too many though as well. If you guys like this kind of content, give me a like. Leave me know in the comment section down below if you want me to go more in depth. Do you want me to do more of these in the future? Do you want them to be longer, shorter? Should I cut them a little bit more? I'm kind of just getting into this, guys, so please give me your feedback. Let me know what you'd like me to do in the future. If you want to see more of these in the future though, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Enjoy. Alright guys, let's get stuck straight into this one now. I have not watched Clix before. I wanted to make sure I was coming into it with as little bias as possible. I have not seen where Clix drops, how he plays mid-game, late-game, nothing about Clix. I know obviously he's an absolute beast, an absolute monster. In this tournament alone, he got 79 points, beating the second highest player by 68 in arguably one of the most competitive regions there is, NA East. So, absolute machine. He's obviously known for being the wall taker. There was a bit of drama back in the day with him being so good at it. People thought he used macros. Proven to be false now. We're going to see how that plays out, whether he uses that to his advantage. Maybe he uses the low ping a little bit aggressive. We'll see how we go. So we're going to watch 2 games today, guys. This is his first one where he got a 9-kill win, and we're going to watch another of his 9-kill win games. So we'll see. Now, noteworthy here, Tilted Dropper. There's only one other person in Tilted. He's one of 2, so he's not really going for material at this point. He didn't break a lot of single building breaks. I think he's trying to get a bit of a loadout first, maybe before he goes for that. Maybe again he saw that he's the only other person in Tilted, so he needs to really loot as fast as he can to make sure he gets a good chunk of this. He's not really competing with other people. He's not in too much danger of an early game fight. They've obviously gone to opposite corners of Tilted as well. He didn't really look around, so maybe he just knew from what he could see coming in, or maybe he doesn't care enough to look around. He's got his building to himself. That's all he really cares about. Now he's getting some material. Okay, so he definitely tries to get some material before his first fight. Now, I'm going to speed up most of this, guys. The second game I play through, we'll probably skip most of the early game to mid game. We'll just go straight towards the end when he starts to get some kills. Just this first game through, I really want to have a good look at exactly what he's doing in the early to mid game. I want to at least have one example of that. So in getting as much safe material as he can. He's already got a decent loadout, so he's already got an AK, he's got a blue tack, so he hasn't got a combat yet, but he's got full shield already with a big pot, 5 minis, and 3 stings. Like, that's pretty solid loadout already. I mean, that's what you get if you go in Tilted. One house, big house, lots of loot, lots of opportunity. Good mats in here as well. He's going to get pretty much, I'm guessing he's probably going to get max metal and max brick just from this bottom level here, and he hasn't even stepped outside his building, so that's very, very safe mat farming right there. He's in a basement. Very, very hard to even take shots at him right now if someone wanted to fight him. So he's going to walk away from this with 2 of the hardest materials to get in the game without any threat. Okay, so he stops. He gets to 400 of each, and then he pushes out. He opts not to pick up the smokes there. Okay, he does. Okay, so he's making a little bit of a loot pile. Okay, that's interesting. So he's made a bit of a loot pile there somewhere that's safe that he knows someone else won't check, and he can come back for it later. He dropped the big pot there, so he can come back for some shield later. Maybe if he's looking around, seeing what's happening here. He takes a ball. He's going to scout out what else is happening in the rest of Tilted. Maybe try and take a fight, and now he knows he's got a big pot to go back to later if he needs it. So he prioritizes holding on to what will help him in the fight, like smokes and stinks, and then keeps the shield for later. He's trying to keep a ball in a safer spot as well. Trying to keep that for later. There are the balls that rotate around in Tilted now. Obviously very, very good. Makes Tilted even a stronger drop now, as you've got a ball out of it as well. It's surprising only 2 people dropped here, though. Now keep in mind, guys, Clix obviously has already qualified. He's qualified over 4 times. Absolute monster at solos. That's why I want to watch him. So he pushes out of Tilted. So he sees what's going on in his ball. He knows it's pretty low risk. Checking out what's happening. Doesn't rush for the fight, but he's just trying to get some information at this point. Really low risk, really smart here. He's got smokes in the bag. He's in a baller, so very low risk of getting shots taken back at him here. He's holding the edge of Storm. He knows Storm's coming in here. Can he, like, third party anyone, take some damage before they go in? Leaves. At this point, he's pretty farmed up. I believe he's still lacking a bit of wood, though, but he knows wood's easy to get, maybe, so either other people are going to be carrying wood and he's going to try and kill for it, but he'll probably just find some trees, farm up a bit of wood. Easiest material to get on the rotation of the trees. Taking shots on edge of zone. Obviously, nothing too fancy here, guys. Nothing really to go through until he takes some fights. We'll be able to look at exactly how he plays it. This is just smart rotations here. He's got the baller, so he might as well hang on edge of zone. One thing to note, though, he doesn't go straight into the middle of the zone. Sorry, it's my first time showing the zone. So he's gotten a pretty far zone here from Neo Tilted. It's not too far. Neo is obviously pretty central, so you can't go much further than this. He's got the baller, so it's not too much of a concern, but he didn't beeline it straight in with the baller. He's still hanging on the edge, even while the Storm is coming in trying to take tags and stuff. So that's worth noting, definitely. He's still looking around for kills, so he's definitely going a bit aggressive here. He's not taking kills, for sure. He's not actually just picking fights with everyone he sees, but he definitely has stuck on the edge for longer than he needed to. Okay, slow it down there. He doesn't get a kill here, so let me just go back just a little bit so we can see exactly what happens there. Try and figure out why he takes this fight over others. See if we can figure out a reason for this. So let's have a look at the map before we take this fight. Okay, so he's having it just outside Salty. He's pretty close to the zone. He could smoke in from here if something goes really wrong and he gets held out here, but he's still got plenty of time. 59 seconds before the next zone comes in. He's picking a fight with a solo player. Yeah, it's a smart fight. He hasn't looked around here too much. He was balling around to get a general idea. The only really third party that's going to happen around this area is maybe from the drone, and that's not really going to be too much pressure. It's just going to maybe be some stray shots, but there's no one on there at the moment. So, yeah, it's a pretty smart fight to take for sure. So he balls around him. He did do that there. So as he was looking around there, so he ran around him in the ball, looking to see if there's other players around. Also, one thing to note, this player here, Coligno, didn't take shots at him in his baller. That could suggest a more passive player. He's not trying to break him out of the ball, shows that maybe he's just trying to get to zone. That's normally the sign of a more passive player and someone that you would want to push. Misses the tack shot. He's got high ground. Uses the stink to push him out of his high ground. Another stink. Pushes him off. He jumps down. He's using all three stinks here. He's definitely not trying to... He's playing very aggressive here, walking through his own stinks. He really wants this fight. If you're going to take mid-game fights like this, you really do want to end them as quick as possible. You can't really take long-game fights. And then out of this, he then chooses to smoke. Chooses not to disengage with the smoke. He chooses to actually get on the high ground here with the smoke to take this fight. And the other player smokes away. Okay, so again, not the smartest fight. Obviously, I mean, with hindsight, it's easy to say it's not a smart fight. He went through three stinks, a smoke, and he has no baller. Or he might be able to go get his ball. At the same time, there's no way of knowing that. This guy could have had a rift. He could have had a combat shotgun. Clix doesn't have a combat shotgun yet. It is a very, very good thing to have coming into late game. I know a lot of different pros will use that as a reason alone to take a mid-game fight, just wanting to get a combat to go into late game with. So, does he chase him down here? Does he go looking for him? It looks like he's looking for him. He's either trying to get some information or he's going looking for him. But now it's much scarier to take the fight because obviously things are getting a little bit more congested now on this edge of the zone here. So you do have more people that could third party, but looks like he's still going to go for it. Gets a 40 tag. Builds up and looks for him. He's gone into the hayfield, so it'll be interesting to see if he takes the baller. Yep. If someone's going to the hayfield and you want to push them, one of the easiest ways to flush him out is the baller because it's going to break the hay as you go through, which he's doing. He's hunting for him. He knows this player's passive. This player only took a couple of stinks damage and he already tried to run with smoke. So this player is a very passive player and he knows that. So I think he's really going to try and take advantage of that. Takes hit to his baller, doesn't really care. Alright, he goes for the wall replace again. It's basically the Clix special at this point. I mean, a lot of players on low ping. Remember, Clix does play on 0 to 2 ping. He goes straight for the wall replace. You might as well. It's a strength he has. There's a lot of drama right now about how strong wall replacing is and whether Epic needs to fix the ping. I myself, as someone who plays on 20 to 30, it is a bit of a struggle sometimes when I verse 0 ping players, but it's playing to your advantages. His advantage is he knows he has low ping and he is arguably the best wall taker in the game. He's going to go for it. So his ball's been broken here. He's taking box fights again. He's not trying to go for height here. Again, worth noting, guys, he's taking box fights here. This is, again, someone who is incredibly good at wall taking, so he doesn't need to go for height and put pressure. He can just take someone's wall in this zone here, on the edge of zone, where this is the big edge of zone. So, again, with the whole of the map funneling into this area, this is actually surprising to see this many players in the middle. I would assume, same as Clix probably is here, there'd be a lot more players on this edge. So when you're taking this fight here, if you're going to take it, you're going to want to take it from low ground. Don't build up too high. It's very easy to get third party. He does have 1, 2... probably 3 people that are about to start looking at him, not including the player he's already fighting. So taking a box fight here where he's built around him as quickly as possible is very, very smart.
Another thing to note here, Clix is so confident with his wall replacing and his box fighting, he takes this fight from on a flat. So what you can risk here, doing what he's doing, if the other player was maybe a little bit better, or a little bit faster, because Clix is taking this fight here on the on a flat. If he was to, if the other player here was to take this wall, or this was his wall, he could very easily edit out and then ramp over Clix, and then he could then take this box area and then push out the top. Clix has taken all the walls and the roof, so it would be pretty risky to do so, but it does give him an avenue out. You'll notice most players in this scenario, a lot of other pros, will at least put down a floor, or put down a stairs or a cone to take this fight on, just so they control it. But again, I mean, we're about to see what happens. It's how fast that Clix takes walls. He just instantly takes the wall and rushes in on him. The other guy has no idea what just happened to him. And now he's stacked. He's now picked up a combat, like I said. And it'll be interesting here to see whether he takes the heavy sniper. I'm going to guess he doesn't take the heavy sniper. Double rift over heavy sniper and double smokes over heavy sniper is, especially when you're as good at taking walls as Clix. Clix's pickaxe is basically heavy sniper. So there you go. He drops he drops his AR for the heavy sniper. That's very smart. I wouldn't have thought to do that, actually. I didn't think he was going to go that way. He's got the heavy sniper to take long range shots if he wants to pressure someone. Doesn't really need to hold on to an AR. The only thing this leaves Clix inventory lacking is a bit of spray. So if he's going to try and take a third party fight later, he's not really going to be able to spray anyone down late game. But again, as we've just seen, Clix's style is very box fight oriented. Getting up against them, getting up against their wall and pressuring them and taking it, which he's arguably one of the best at. So let's speed it up a little bit here. He's just chilling, waiting for the next zone. It's just pushed even further away. He gets a launch pad. So someone's dropped down a launch pad. Pushes in. Let's slow it down for the rest here. So we now know. So in his inventory, he has 2 rifts, 2 smokes, and almost max builds. He's missing 200 wood and 60 brick. Gets on a pre-built campfire. Just getting back up to that healthy 200. So again, incredibly aggressive play here. He's not in zone yet. He's on the very edge. There are still, how many players remaining? There's still 47 players remaining. This is quite a big lobby, as you'd expect from NA East Finals. And he's taking a close range fight with someone. Again, opting not to build walls around him right now. That's interesting. I would have thought he would just throw some quick walls around to give him a little bit of cover, because he is quite third partyable, but he really wants this fight. He's taking it fast. Takes the wall, instantly pushes in. It's interesting when Clix box fights, he takes the wall and instantly rushes in with a shotgun. A lot of players, when they take the wall in this scenario, they'll instantly put a stairs through. So they put stairs in so that the other enemy can't put stairs protecting them back. I guess he knows how fast he can take it and how aggressive he is. It's going to throw them off guard, but a lot of players in that scenario would have put stairs and then edited the stairs just so they control more of the enemy's box, but it's working for him. He's taking these kills so fast and making it look easy. It's honestly horrifying. Is he going to push onto this poor soul as well? Oh man, you don't want to see the kill feed. Clix just box fight someone right next to you, because if he's going to take that box fight, there's almost no reason why he won't take the box fight on you. He does have to go a little bit further in, so he's just going to use the smoke to get that extra little distance in. He's now carrying 4 launch pads, 2 rifts, and 1 smoke nade. It's easy to see how he got this many kills in the win. That's so much rotation, it's horrifying. Sorry, one thing worth noting which I missed. He dropped the heavy sniper for a drum gun, so he's gone back to having a spray weapon. It's very interesting that he prioritizes the drum gun over the AR that much. You'd think that if he was going to drop the heavy sniper and give up his AK like he did earlier, he wouldn't then take a drum gun over the heavy sniper in the next chance possible. But maybe that difference in the zone, he doesn't think he'll need the heavy sniper anymore. Again, that's the one thing you are lacking. I mean, it's interesting still taking shots to the combat. It does do a lot of damage at range. That's a pretty far away range, but that is, like I was talking about, with not having the AR. He doesn't really have anything else to spray with. He could have sprayed with a drum gun, but it won't do that much. Okay. So he's set up in a pretty good spot on the edge of a mountain here. He's got some high ground. He got some really good tags here, so he's going to push straight onto this guy. And he smokes away, and he's just taking shots. He's just trying to hit him because he knows if he hits him even once here, he's going to die, and he just can't find it. Again, Clix has got rotation to burn here. He's chasing fights. This is incredibly aggressive. Man, Clix is just insane. He takes the wall first time, and there you go. That's insane. He gets some smokes back for it, so it'll cost him nothing. Even late game, or very late mid game, he's still just running through people. It's incredible to watch. All right, with the mats he just acquired, he's going to turtle out a little bit. Even though he's got a bunch of rotation guys, he's going to try and take this care package if he can. You almost lose nothing from doing this. If you've got spare materials, you've just killed someone, you may as well tarp out to zone. There's very little you're going to lose from it, and it's just going to save you more rotation later. And if you get pushed now, you just own more of the buildings around you. Especially when you can tarp as fast as Clix and a lot of the pros do now. It really does cost you very little. He's got an unfortunate... Oh, nice. He's now got 3 rifts and 4 launch pads. Oh, man. Holy, he's going to use one of the... I bet he's going to use one of the rifts here to get to zone. And then pick up the 2 rifts. Might as well. Why wouldn't you? This is just incredible. He's got such a good loadout. But again, this is what you get from being aggressive. He's pushed a lot of kills here in the mid game. So he's given himself every opportunity he can to get this loadout. It's very easy just to say, oh, RNG, look how good his loadout is. He got so lucky, but he pushed kills to get this advantage. Putting a trap down to block anyone else who comes for the rift. Make sure no one follows him. I'm interested to see how this rift stack goes. It looks like the 2 rifts have separated. So I think when he pops this rift and grabs one, he's only going to grab one, not both. I don't know exactly what's happened there. Still looking for tags, and look at that. Oh, doesn't get to him. Gets a good tag. He opts to launch pad. Is he going to go back for his rift? I mean, in this scenario, guys, a lot of people may have just launch padded from down there and pushed to zone. He's got a rift to spare. Rift is going to bring you higher and let you see more of what's happening in the next zone and let you travel in further. Okay, it did pick up both the rifts. All right. Yeah, if you got a chance between using a rift or a launch pad, if it's not going to cost you a rift because you can't carry it anyway, 100% use the rift. Not that there's going to be a lot of opportunities where you have 3 rifts, but... Alright, so he's set up on almost center zone on the highest natural high ground you can here, or one of the highest natural high grounds. He's set up on top of someone, but he's branched off to the side of them, so if this player tries to edit him down onto his builds, he's not going to get him down. A good point worth noting, guys. If you're going to try and build on top of someone, don't build directly on top of them. They can just quickly edit you down and you'll fall on them. Build off to the side, so at least if they edit you down, in here he's not going to go very far. He's going to fall to the ground. He hasn't built up too high. He already has natural high ground. He doesn't need to build much higher. Player leaves the window open. He's definitely going to take his wall. One wall take, and the guy gets in the ball and gets out of there. Whether he knew it was Clix or not, there's a good opportunity to get out of there. Alright. Now, guys, I'm obviously getting pretty new to these VOD reviews. I try to put as much information as I can, guys, but please let me know in the comments section if you want me to maybe make it longer, pause more often, like kind of explain what I'm talking about more thoroughly, or whether you like the gameplay more constantly going in the background. I don't really want to turn these into 2-3 hour videos. I want to keep them pretty short and snappy, so we watch most of the game we can. Alright, so he's looking in the sky for the rift. Taking shots with the combat. He takes every free shot he can with the combat. That other kill that he got a while ago when that guy was gliding past is because he got the combat tag for white. He knew how low health he was, and then he pushed it. So it's always worth taking. It's very, very low risk. He's got 122 shotgun ammo. It's not like he's going to run out. I wonder whether he deliberately didn't go on the mountain then, or whether he just mistimed it. Very, very clean 1x1s. Easy combat shotgun kill. The combat shotgun while people gliding is just so insanely strong. And now the spray comes into things. This is where you want to make sure you have a spray weapon. Like I said, if he left himself without a spray weapon, when other people are getting focused, and it's just very hard to get that free kill just from spraying in someone's general direction. You never know who's on low health and when they're getting pressured by other enemies as well. It's a very good late game. 30 players alive. It's a very strange circle. Let's push right to the bottom right. We've got our first fully outside zone. It goes back to where he came from, but again, rotation isn't really going to be his issue right now. 4 launch pads and 2 rifts is absolutely incredible. Again, editing his walls so he can obviously keep visibility. He's not looking out of the cone here because there's going to be a lot of people on high ground above him, and he knows that, so there's going to be a lot of people above him, so looking at the cone is just going to be incredibly risky, more risky so than a window. You want to look at the cone when you have high ground, or it minimizes who has sights on you. When you're in a 1x1 like this, the least amount of people that can see him is looking out the window. Alright, he riffs again. Marks height, make sure he's checking whether it's in or not. Unfortunately, I can't see where the marker goes, but he's marking the exact point that's on the center of that mountain that's still in. So we know he's going to try and prioritize getting that high ground on that mountain, which is such a good spot to have. He's still got another rift up his sleeve, and he's got 4 launch pads, so he can take height and not be as scared from being knocked down. He can pop a rift mid-air so he doesn't get knocked down. Oh, and he misses the mountain. Bit of a misplay there. Definitely not what he was going for, but let's see how he adapts. This puts him in an awkward spot. Now he's got to glide down really slowly. He didn't get punished for it. He didn't get sprayed as hard as what he could have there. Still upsetting there, but he gets the win. So let's see how he turns this around. That was an incredibly good position he could have had, and he just missed it. All right, Zone's going back to pretty much exactly where it just came from. He's got another rift. Let's see if he uses the launch pad here or the rift. I would imagine he uses the rift here and tries to go for a high ground play again, but he might do the launch. Okay, he does launch. Oh, he tries to launch up to take the high ground. Oh, the double launch. Let's go. Okay. He's checking out what's happening. He's taking a look, seeing if he can maybe try and get a bit of height here, or he's going mid-ground. No, he's gliding all the way back down. He uses the builds for cover. That's good. So he's trying to like weave in and out of those builds so that he has as much cover as possible. He's not just flying out in the open. So he's used 2 launch pads. He still has 2 left in a rift. So let's see how he tries to go for high ground or whether he just plays this as a mid-ground game. He showed us before by wanting to go on the mountain. He obviously prioritizes high ground when he can get it, like almost every pro does. It's one of the safest positions to be in. But it's interesting now. Let's see what he does, whether he tries to go back for it or whether he just plays the mid-grounds. Easy RPG, followed up with some shotgun shots. Being incredibly aggressive here. Nice. Takes the wall. Good job. Someone else pushes in for the loot. Easily gets it. He heard the other guy breaking the trap there. Again, I don't know what the other guy had there, but that late game when the zone's about to move through you, trying to go for the loot, sometimes a bit risky without looking around you, seeing what happens. So we've got 7 alive here, and he's going to go for the height. Nice. So he does go for the rift height. Builds up. It's a little bit contested. He hears someone beneath him, so he builds back to stop himself from getting coned. Nice. And he's got high ground with an RPG. 4 launch pads. And a lot of mats. So this is looking like a pretty easy. He's just going to roll through people. He's just going to keep putting those RPGs down through now. So it's a combat versus tack here. He's taken the wall. Nice. It's a pretty standard one there. Combat versus tack. It's incredibly hard to beat at the moment, unfortunately, with how... Nice. He's RPG tarping out. So every time he's just tarping out, RPGing back through, hanging right on the very edge of Storm. He's only building out enough to reload his RPG and then go again. Got a double tag there with the RPG. And he's still got 446 wood left, so he's still got 44 builds. He's going to keep RPGing down, it looks like. They're pretty low on builds down there. Just clinical, just building out. He's going to drop down a little bit to make sure if he gets knocked down, he doesn't take any fall damage. Probably one of the only ways that he'll lose this fight here. The other player does still have builds, but doesn't look like a lot. I think he's out of builds here. I'm going to guess. No, he's still got some builds. Interesting he didn't build some ceilings above himself there. This player is struggling a little bit here. Oh, and the dance. Oh, hits him with the disrespect. Easy kill. 9 kill win. It's the first one. Very well played. I mean, to recap it, it was clinical. The interesting part worth noting, Clix against other players took some pretty, like, you know, risky-ish mid-game fights there, but again, he took them in turtle fights where he knows he has the advantage. He knows he's the wall taker. He boxes around himself, goes up against their wall, takes it, and then kills them nice and quick. It was insane. He got some good loot, obviously, but like I said, you can't just claim RNG. He took the mid-game fights against players that obviously he did very easily beat. He invested very little in those fights. He rolled through them without taking very much damage and using a lot of his resources, and then just gained more and more from it. A lot of people saying with the new the way kills are rewarded, that the aggressive players win, and they're aggressive, they just rush everyone. It's not about that. It's like I said, when that baller play, he was identifying whether the player was passive, kind of sussing out some information about him before he took the fight. It's knowing who you should fight and what you're going to cost versus gain from it. So, very clinical play. We're going to look at his next game now as well. So that was one of his 9 kill wins, and he has another 9 kill win. I'm going to stick to his good games. Like I said, I don't want to make these incredibly long videos where I just go through and look at every single game or break a lot of stuff down. I really want to kind of see what he gets the most out of it. Let's go back in. All right, so that was his first 9-kill win. Let's check out his other 9-kill win. He's got other noteworthy games here, like an 8-kill 6th, 3rd kill win, but I really want to look at those insane games so we can get as much of an idea of when he plays aggressive and why he plays aggressive, because there's definitely some method to it. He's obviously phenomenal mechanically. He's an incredibly good player who can win a lot of these fights, especially the turtle fights, but he's not just fighting every single person for no reason. We got to find out why they're aggressive, because Clix is up there with Dubs of one of the solo players who's figured out aggression. They figured out when to be aggressive, when they're going to benefit from it, and how to consistently do it. You can't just say that he's getting lucky or it's 0 ping when you've qualified 4+ times for both of them. There's definitely something they're doing that I and a lot of the community are not doing. Something outside of just pure mechanics as well. So again, let's just make sure he just drops the same spot. We've already looked at his early game, so I'm not too invested in seeing exactly what he does early game. Does he land on the same house? Lands on the exact same... No, he leaves that house. So he sees that house is contested. All right, let's watch this one a little bit, actually, because we can gain something from this, sorry. Most early games are the same, but this early game is much more contested. So let's see what happens. So this game, he's got way more people coming tilted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's possibly 9 people coming here. Remember, last game, he only had him and one other. So let's see how it changes his playstyle. He gets beaten down to the house he normally goes. Picks up an AR, so he's at least got a gun. So nice safe looting out here as well. So he's got the slipstream, so he's got a fair bit of movement and mobility here for control. Picks up some easy uncontested loot. Knows no one dropped here. And he's going to push back in. Let's see how he plays it, how he loots. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This player's leaving. So there's 6 players in tilted now compared to the other game where he was 1 of 2. Alright, flies around the slipstream. Susses out a little bit of what's going on around him. He's trying to prioritize getting the baller here. Okay. So he wants to try and get the baller. I wonder whether that's because he doesn't want someone else to get it before him. He's really prioritizing getting this baller. Okay, he gets the baller. What does he do with it? Because like we said, that was pretty instrumental in his mid-game last game. He hung on the edge of zone, sat in the baller, used it to gain some information safely before he took fights. And now he's going to use it the same way. He's going to run around. He's going to look for some loot. And he's going to try and... Alright, so his baller gets broken. But out of it, he finds a big pot, which is pretty free. Takes no damage. And he gets a kill here in tilted. So he pushes into another large house that looks to be unlooted. So he's moving pretty quickly. He's not trying to stay in one spot for too long. So he finds an unlooted house here, or at least the bottom level is. Let's see if he loots the whole place. Okay, so now he goes up and loots the whole place. So he was just looking for a building. Oh no, we've got some sign of looting here. We've got some builds. So they just didn't loot it as properly. So now he's being a lot more careful with how he looks through because he knows that someone was here at some point. And then he gets a kill here, so let's slow it down, see what happens. Alright, bit of a misplay, but that's alright. It takes a solid amount of full damage. He's now up to an effective 113 health. Not a great spot to take this fight from, but he still takes it. Maybe he knows the player's passive. Gets him in an awkward spot here. And then beats him. Okay, so a bit of a misplay at the start to start the fight, but he wins it. Some good tack shots, builds him in. Again, maybe the player, he could sense the player was a bit passive. He tried to hide rather than see where he was and take a fight. This isn't later in the day, so people shouldn't be playing as insanely passive yet, because it's not like they're trying to reserve their last few games. This is when you've still got some games up your sleeve, so... Which he does as well. Now, I think we'll keep it on 4 times speed, and we'll go through it until he gets his next kills. Let's just kind of see what he does. There's now 3 people left in tilted. He stays in tilted. Keeps looking for loot. He's not the greatest on loot here at all. He's got a great tack, drum gun, scoped AR. He's got a bit of mobility though. Launchpad, campfire, trap. He's not looking the worst smokes, but he would really probably be looking for something to replace with that scoped AR. You'd take almost anything over the scoped AR, I'd imagine. And he gets another baller. Okay. Not bad. He's getting... So what are his materials looking like? So he's not looking great on materials either. He's got 67 builds. Let's see how this goes. So sorry, I should have looked at zone earlier, guys. My bad. So this zone's a little bit different now. So it hasn't pushed down the right side. Worth noting as well. So even when... So last time he pushed down this direction when the zone was going down there. So nothing to really gain with why he went there. It's just where the zone was going. Now, even with zone up here, he's pushed to the edge of zone towards Salty. I think he really likes holding the edge of zone when this first zone's coming in. Because he's done it both games now. He's gone edge of zone on first zone and sat in the baller and just looked. Because if he needs, you would think if he needs more material and he hasn't got the best loadout, he would actually avoid where you'd imagine a lot of players are. Because again, this was the bigger side of the map, more people pushing in. It hasn't ended up as much that way. You do, yeah. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on this edge, and this is where he's choosing to do his farming. He could have gone essentially anywhere. It's interesting to think why he didn't go out this way, but again, I'm sure there's a reason for it. Just the things you got to think about with your rotations, guys. When people talk about drops and practicing their rotations, this is what you should be looking at. The amount of people that are coming in, what's the next storm, where's your safest spot to get more material, where do you go to if you haven't got the best loadout and you want to try and get some more items safely, where do you go to take your next fight if you've got a good loadout but you want to be aggressive. These are the things that people practice with their rotations, guys. If you haven't figured out your drop on your rotation, that's what you need to look at. So he's balling around. He's gone back away from that edge of zone now. And he's gone back to the other edge of zone. So he's gone all the way from this edge of zone to this edge of zone. He's got the baller, so again, he can do that. He's going to get more and more materials. He's going to farm out this house. So he's doing this for material, guys, because we know this house isn't in. So he's not doing this to take this house as himself to hold for later. He's doing it just to farm mats safely. The bottom of a house in the basement is one of the safest ways to farm mats. You literally cannot get third party by anyone from a distance, only someone who rushes up to you. All right, let's slow it down now and see what's going on here. All right, slow this right down here. So he pushes back into the next zone. So it's interesting. So first zone coming in, he likes to go to the edges and hang around the edge of the zone. And then once the second zone comes in, he likes to go back to another edge, still farm a little bit. But this zone here, he went straight into the zone. He didn't try and hang around this edges whatsoever. He went straight in when he could. He's taking a fight with this guy who broke his ball. Again, like I said, this is how Clix is going to take his fights. He's going to always turtle up and push to him. He's not going to go for height. He's going to out turtle fight him. Turtle fighting, if you're good at it, is one of the safest and risk-free ways to take a fight. It makes third partying next to impossible, or at least if you get third party, you're getting sprayed at. So if you know you're going to take someone's wall, why not? So he's using the stinks again, like he did last game, to really pressure the player into a different position. This guy's tarped out here now, and he pushes him on the ground level. So again, he builds the walls around him, so he's got his own box here from safety so he doesn't get third party, and he goes for the break. Again, he breaks on a flat though. He doesn't break on a stair like I talked about. Quite often here he walks through his own stinks. It's insane how aggressive he is with these stinks. He knows he's still taking less damage than the enemy with the stinks. As we can see, this guy's really struggling on health. Looks like he's got effective about 30. Hits him for shield, and he knows that he took a lot of his health damage. So he's just hit him for 80 shield, which means he knows he's got less than 50 health, and he just aggressively pushes in. Just goes straight through and then holds the builds. Now he gets a combat shotgun. His loadout's just gone from, decent, okay, like manageable, to very, very solid. It's amazing how strong the combat is. He's got 3 launch pads for rotation, 3 smokes, spare shield, combat, and a drum gun. So he's basically got his ideal loadout other than the Rifts last game. So we'll speed up just a little bit for this next kill. He gets another kill here. So it's in this zone here that he still goes for fights. He's definitely not playing passive, but he takes them all as box fights when he can. So gets some good flying tags with the combat, and then just box fights him. Just pressures him and scares him. Gets third party a little bit, gets brought down to 110 health, and he's still going for the wall take. So even on 110 health, which is very combat shotty range, this other guy gets a good combat headshot, he's gonna die. Still goes for the push. Still goes for the wall take. And he's actually losing a few times. He's versing a fellow zero pinger. Let's see how it goes. Look at this. I've never seen Clix take this many attempts to get a wall. And look at that. So he changed his strategy. He can't pickaxe the wall. He starts to put pressure on with the drum gun, gets inside and just rushes him. Yeah. Again, guys, super risky obviously going into someone else's 1x1 like that. The guy could have put some traps, but he didn't fully invest without knowing the guy was low health, and he was holding the drum gun and walking forward. So he knew he was going to phase through some of those builds there, and he was inevitably going to kill him quickly. If the other guy threw some quick traps up, he could have easily dropped back into his box. Did that smoke nade just bounce? What just happened there? Hello? His smoke nade bounced. Alright. Wait, is this Ronaldo? Is in Ziff and Ronaldo? So not only does this guy get fed kills, he also manages to be immune to stink nades. That's pretty solid, man. I gotta find out what this guy's doing. Don't want to throw too much shade, but come on, mate. You cheated in the World Cup. It's fair play. How does this guy make stinks bounce away? Are you kidding me? All right, guys. Unfortunately, I can't analyze that one. Not really sure how you make that happen. Just be lucky, I guess. All right, again, like I said, guys, he got a kill. He's got some mats to spare, so same as last game. He's going to tarp out. He's going to tarp into the next zone. You basically lose nothing from tarping into the next zone. It just makes it safer for you pushing forward. Sorry, guys, just slowed that one down. He didn't get a kill here, so I assume there wasn't as much of a fight. Ooh, he's going for the box fight with Ronaldo. He's not on the free kill list. Definitely not in the Discord call. Alright, Ronaldo boogie bombs himself. Ooh, and he gets a pretty solid third party there. Gets knocked down. He's pretty low. He's going to have to play passive here. He's got the shield spare, but I'd be surprised this other person doesn't be pretty aggressive here. He has just seen that he got him low. Hit him for whites. Normally you'd keep pushing here. Actually, we'll slow it back down, see what he goes. So he stays low ground, drops the campfire. He's got 3 launch pads and 4 smokes, like I said, so he can get out of here pretty easily. Interesting there. So he breaks the floor down to 1 hit because he can't edit through it because of the campfire. So he wants to leave it on 1 health so he can quickly break it and go down. So he's prioritizing... Yeah, he's prioritizing having a floor that he can edit through. So very smart there. He doesn't want to sit on a campfire. He wants to sit on a floor that he can edit through if he needs to. Going down through your floor is one of the fastest ways to get out if you're in a box and you need to get out quickly. If you go up, you've obviously got to edit through usually a roof and a cone, and you've got to put stairs. Going down's 1 edit. You edit the floor and down. Very, very safe. All right, he gets a lot of aggression here on him. He gets smoked quite a lot. He's got multiple people third party and pushing him. They're in a very awkward spot. They're on the very edge of zone. He's not looking the healthiest now. Let's see how he turns this into a 9-kill win. Really clean builds there. Throws the cone up so he blocks himself a little bit. Oh, gets out on 10 health. Ronaldo spraying for it. He's praying. 10 health. He's got... Oh, that was risky if he took that Storm Tick. It wouldn't have killed him, but... So he's got 10 health here with no meds. Let's see how he turns this around. All right, this is interesting. Let's go, Clicks. So from this position, he turns into this many kills. This will be a good one. Alright, let's slow this down. We got some end game here now, so let's see what happens. So he's trying to spray. Again, I hate when this happens, when the whole lobbyist decides it's your game to end, but if you start getting sprayed out or you see someone getting sprayed out, guys, it's so clean to just spray as well. It's going to cost you next to nothing to spray at an opponent already being sprayed at. There's multiple pressure on him. You might get that free kill and it'll get him back up to 60 health. He can push for the loot. It was pretty close, but it costs you next to nothing to spray at someone as long as no one else has the angles on you. And right now, as much as his health is in a great position, geographically, he's on the low ground with some environment around him that no one can break through. So he's actually pretty good to not get sprayed at here. Now, this is the week also where Storm Flip was disabled, so he doesn't have to worry about any pesky Storm Flips late game, just instantly killing him on this health. So that's great. We don't get to worry about that anymore because, you know, they're back in the game. Thank you, Epic. All right. So there's a Storm Surge threshold. He's well and truly above it. 842 above. No concerns there. Let's see how he rotates this. He's going to smoke it, I imagine, because a launch pad right now is just instant death. So he's waiting really late here, guys. He knows he needs some health before this zone moves in. So he was really looking for some kills there. Like he wanted to get a tag. There was nothing. If he gets shot at once by any gun in the game, he's dead. He's got the smokes, the invisibility. Oh, that's so scary. All right, so he's almost in zone. He's really close. He's going to use another smoke to get in, I imagine. Whoa, he's trying to break a ball there. This is where it's just pure composure. This is just pure composure right here. How he turns this into a kill is going to be amazing to see. Not panicked. And he goes inside someone's box on 10 health, gets boxed in, and the 1 combat. Luckily, it was someone who had less than effective 119 health, so he gets the kill, gets some minis out of it. His health's now gone from 10 to 110. Let's go. That was very lucky, but at the same time, he kept his cool. He got in the box with him, stayed in the shadow form, and then out-combated him. This zone is insane. Gets caught in another box while shadowing, and this time with Stinks in it. That could have been dangerous. All right. He's now got no more shadows, so he's going to have to, like, his only rotation now is launch pad. Ooh, goes for the play. That was amazing. The boogie bomb out of the ball is such an easy way to get a kill if you can. The player almost never expects it. It just leaves them dancing around like a dumbass. You get to take some easy, clean combat shots. So he's back up to now, yeah, so he's got 130 health now. He's looking good. 129 builds, almost max mats. He's just clawed his way back into this game, and let's see how he finishes it out. Campfire cones himself in while he reloads his weapons. Goes for another Boogie Bomb play. Doesn't. Oh, and gets it as well. Look at that. He's just gotten 2 Boogie Bomb baller plays. They're amazing. And now he's back to 100-100. That's phenomenal. Let's go. And now, which direction they're going? Yeah, okay. So he's on. He's hugging the edge here. He wants to build on the edge. He's still got 3 launch pads and 2 smokes, so he's got good rotations here. Went for another Boogie Bomb play. Tried to go for the 3, the hat trick, and Boogie Bombs himself. Not too bad though. He can easily edit his builds. He hugged that triangle edit there to make sure no one could shoot him. He's still got another Boogie Bomb and he's holding it out. He's gonna smoke up the mountain. Again, geographical high ground, so much more manageable now with the smokes. He can just sit here and bounce all day until that zone goes up there, which it looks like he's gonna do. He's just gonna keep resetting the Shadow Stone until he can get high ground. Nice. Oh, finds himself in another box. This is just composure here. He's just winning all the 50-50 combat shots. Oh, amazing builds there. That was some very clean, just creative building there. Out to the side, takes the high grounds. And now he's back on high ground like he wants. Prioritizes the people in the sky. He's got a pretty well held high ground here. He's not too many layers above anyone else, but he's got it really well tarped out. So his biggest fear from like losing this right now is obviously the people in the sky. The chance of someone building up and overtaking him right now is much less than a rift that is landing on him and 50-50 him. He's got no damage. He's got 3 damage traps here, so he doesn't put any damage traps on high ground. He just holds it with the combat shotgun. Tries to throw that Boogie Bomb out again, see if he can get someone dancing for a free headshot. And it's just clinical control from the high ground again. Holding the edge. He hasn't got the RPG this time, but he's just going to push in. Take clean shots every time. Tries to keep a couple layers above them as well. Like I said, he doesn't want to get anyone taking him from low ground though. You want to stay at least like, 2 levels up if you can. So they can't just do 1 ramp out and take it off you, or 1 ramp out and get a clean shot on you. He's 100-100 here. Both players on low ground. So Premium has not a health advantage, but he doesn't know that. He hasn't hit him for white, so he doesn't know what health is on. So he's going to go for this fight here. He's not going to try and take it to a heal off. He's got nothing to heal with. And this is just high ground, just taking all the builds. Looks like Premium doesn't have any builds left. He's going to go for a last-ditch effort. Yeah, he knows he's got it there. Absolutely clinical. He knows the player's on whites. He knows he's got effective 100 health, so he's going to 100% win the heal off, so he builds around. And remember, guys, now when you take a shot on someone, it's 60 seconds. If they die within the next 60 seconds to storm, you still get the point, so you don't even have to go for that precious shot at the end to make sure you get the kill. You're guaranteed to get the kill and the win in that scenario. So again, from 10 health, late game there with some decent rotation, but not the best loadout, obviously, coming into it health-wise. He absolutely clutched it. I wouldn't say he got lucky. Got put in a couple of people's boxes and he took some good fights with them. He didn't panic. And then the Boogie Bombs just brought him back in it with the ballers. Such an easy mechanic to use. Boogie Bomb him out and then combat him while they're dancing in front of you. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely incredible. I've watched some clips, obviously, when he's all over the highlight reels, but I've never actually gone in and VOD reviewed his games. Some of the takeaway points that I want is obviously he knows his strengths. His strength is wall taking. He is a total fighter and he's very, very good at it. So it's one of the least risky ways to play. So you don't get third party. So even in those mid games when he's obviously on edge of zone and there's people around him, he minimizes the risk of being third party by just boxing around himself and then going for close range box fights. It's a very, very good tactic, knowing your strengths. It's one of the strongest metas in the game right now. It is what's stirring up all the controversy of how strong zero ping players are, how much of an advantage is it. He's obviously a zero ping player, he knows it, and he's got wall taking to an art, so can't hold it against him. He's playing to his strengths, and late game, obviously, he's still going for height. He's prioritizing height as much as he can. That's pretty standard, nothing crazy there, but honestly, absolute beast. I'm so excited to see how he goes in the World Cup finals. I mean, he's one of those few guys who has qualified almost 5 times now. He's up there with Dubs. He qualified 4 times, I believe. But this week he got 79 points, with the next closest being 68 in arguably the most competitive region. And if it's not in Europe's most competitive, then it's second most competitive. So absolutely insane performance. Crazy player. What to learn from it? Unfortunately for me, take away from it as my own personal player trying to learn from this. I don't have zero ping. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try and improve my box fighting, because it just illustrates how strong it is and how safe it is of a way to get kills mid game. But yeah, I think to take away from this guy is definitely try and, especially if you're a lower ping player, really work on being aggressive in that mid game, but still taking the fights in boxes when you can. yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, guys, please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this in the future. I'm going to be really prioritizing some VOD reviews and some competitive elements. I do a lot of these on stream on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AussieAntics. I'll leave it in the description down below. But I do some of these offline as well when I really want to just sit and watch the gameplay. But yeah, if you want to get involved, guys, check me out. If you want more of these in future, let me know in the comment section if you want me to do it differently. Do you want me to VOD review all their games, their whole tournament? Would you want it less, more, pause less? Just give me some feedback, guys. I'm new to this. I'm trying to be as good as I can. I'm doing this for my own knowledge, but also I want to pass some on to you guys as well. I've got decent game knowledge. I watch tens of hundreds of hours of gameplay like this, so even though I'm not maybe the best player in the world, I feel like I do have some insight to give. So yeah, if you want to stick around, guys, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one.